We drove back up to the Bronx. We went to Lincoln Hospital. That's where they were taken from at the scene of the shooting. And Tommy was dead. He was in a cubicle with a sheet over his head, and the blood was oozing from his wound. Apparently, the bullet hit him almost directly over the left eye and killed him instantly. And Tanya was in the next cubicle, who was shot. She was shot in the back. And she didn't know he was dead, and she was asking.
I do not know you, but I am your brother.
You do not know me, but I am your protector.
I will run into a burning building to save your life.
Though I do not know your name, I will take a bullet for you.
Though we've never met,
I believe in duty and sacrifice
of self.
Your family is my family.
Is my family. Your life is my duty.
What's going on, guys? Time for another episode of Behind the Uniforms. We are here on location in Florida. I am stoked to introduce you to this dude because he is a great friend of mine on LinkedIn, provides a lot of firepower. Brother, tell them all who you are.
Hi, my name is Joe Johnson. I'm retired from NYPD. I had a short career because I was almost killed in a motor vehicle accident. But I'm here today, and I guess that's a good thing.
We're out here in Florida for Heroes Weekend, which is part of the Wounded Officers Initiative. And we've got law enforcement today out here. We've got enforcement out here. We're super, I'm just stoked to bring everybody your story and to tell them what you're working on now. So where do you want to start? You want to tell them about a good day, about a bad day?
The good day was the first day that I went on the job, okay? Entering the police academy. It's something that I always wanted to do. I finally got my chance, and I did. After I graduated from the police academy, I was assigned to the South Bronx, to the infamous precinct known as Fort Apache, the 4-1 precinct on Simpson Street. And it was the best time I ever had when I was a cop. It was also the worst time I had as a cop because of that night in February 1984 on Valentine's Day when I traded assignments with another officer. We went to his detail down in Manhattan, and he stayed in the Bronx. While he stayed in the Bronx, he was shot and killed. We found out about it when my partner with me at the time was Kenny Stevenson. We found out about it when we were in the Associated Press cafeteria, and I think it was the NBC building. And one of the reporters came over and he saw the numbers on our shirts, 4-1, and he came over, he handed us the teletype. It said 3 cops shot, 2 dead, Bronx, 149th Street. We had no idea what this was all about. So we went back to the temporary command headquarters and found our sergeant who had come with us, Kenny McCarthy, and we called the station house and they said, yeah, Tommy shot, Tanya shot, and there's an off-duty cop from the 4-0 shot. And the sergeant said to the inspector or whoever was running the detail, listen, it was our guys that got shot up in the Bronx. He said, well, there's nothing you can do for them. You might as well stay here. And Sergeant McCarthy opened the door and pointed to me and my partner and said, do you really want them staying here, knowing what's going on? He looked out, took one look at us and said, go back to your command. It's okay. You're dismissed. So we drove back up to the Bronx. We went to Lincoln Hospital. That's where they were taken from at the scene of the shooting. And Tommy was dead. He was in a cubicle with a sheet over his head, and the blood was oozing from his wound. Apparently, the bullet hit him almost directly over the left eye and killed him instantly. And Tanya was in the next cubicle, who was shot. She was shot in the back, and she didn't know he was dead, and she was asking. And when we got there, the Bronx Homicide Bureau Chief, Paul Paley, was in there questioning her. We suggested to him that he must leave and not talk to her, not while she's first off hospitalized and under medication. I'm not going to allow him to take statements from her that would be possibly used against her at a later time. So, make a long story short, the shooter was out on the street. The off-duty cop, Dino Padilla, who was in the gas station when this happened, engaged the killer and shot him. And in the same, and in retaliation, not retaliation, but in return fire, he was also shot. So Tommy was dead, Tanya was shot, and Dino was shot, and they were all in Lincoln. But the shooter was able to make his way out of the area, even though he had been shot. Many hours later, when the tour was over, the CO of the detective squad told us, nobody's going home. Go upstairs, change into street clothes, take your 2 guns with you, get extra bullets, go downstairs, get a radio, and just follow every lead you can out on the street. This guy's out there, okay? We need to find him. We went upstairs, changed, we were on our way down, and it turned out somebody had dropped him off. They did a drive-by with him at the hospital and threw him out of the car. So he was captured, and that was it. But that was a tough night because, like I said, we had switched assignments with Tommy and Tanya. He was actually a week away from being transferred to One Police Plaza to work in there at developing IT infrastructure, because he was that smart. So he was only a week away from being transferred off the street, most probably forever. So years later, I had met a director from the Glades TV show, and he kind of, I got bit by the bug to make a documentary. And we decided on the name Every 58 Hours because on the average of every 58 hours, from the statistics of when cops were being killed in the line of duty, it worked out to being about every 58 hours. Some people say it's every 52 hours, some people say it's longer, but we decided to go with every 58 hours. I hired local people. We found a gas station in Coral Springs that had a brick facade that would look like a Northeast gas station where this had happened in the Bronx. It actually happened in the 40th precinct. It was the borderline between the 4-1 and the 4-0, and what had happened was at about 6:15 in the afternoon on February 14th, which was Valentine's Day, a report of a robbery of a moped had come over the air at gunpoint. So they put a description over of the suspect that was wanted in connection, and while they were out, Tommy and Tanya were out driving around in the precinct, they said, why don't we go check down like 149th Street? And as they pulled around on 149th Street from Southern Boulevard and they pulled up to the Power Test gas station, they saw a male Hispanic fit in the description in the gas station with a moped. So they edged the car in, and Tommy got out of the car and yelled a challenge to him, and without warning or any advance warning whatsoever, the guy turned, pulled a gun, fired 1 shot, hitting him over the forehead and killing him instantly. So we reenacted the entire killing with post of what they were doing before it happened, when it happened, and the aftermath. So I have a full 30 minutes in the can, as they say, ready to go if somebody would want to either play it as a special or maybe want to develop a whole series around every 58 hours. You had 140 guys last year, 140 guys and girls last year. So it's not like you're not going to run out of material, right. You know. So I've had it, I've shopped it around. It just doesn't seem anybody's interested. And the whole point of this was to enlighten the people that on the average of every 58 hours, a police officer or a law enforcement officer dies in the line of duty. And you know, they can be shot. A lot of them are shot and killed. A lot of them, you know, die in motor vehicle accidents. You still have people dying from 9/11 disease, which, you know, some say it's not really line of duty, but as I know you have seen me put, so-and-so was killed on September 11th, 2001, but died August 15th, 2018.
I'll tell you why you've had a hard time getting it picked up. Because it's not happy, cheery Hollywood.
Right.
It's truth, it's reality, and it's a very difficult reality that so many people in society today don't want to face. This is why we're doing this entire series Behind the Uniforms, because we're having those conversations that people have avoided because they're not comfortable. It's not bubbles and sunshine. It's the real truth of what law enforcement faces in America.
It's like Jack Nicholson said in A Few Good Men. You don't want to know. You're just happy we're there, okay? You don't talk about us behind our back, okay? But you're glad we are there, and you don't question it. Then all of a sudden, when something happens, then you go out of your way to question it.
So whether it be with this documentary or just with policing in general, how can people who are watching today help?
They just have to have a little bit more understanding of what the police do. Police officers don't go out of their station house or out of their commands with the intention of shooting people. They just don't. In reality, their first duty is to go home alive and unhurt. They don't need to go to the hospital. I mean, in my short career, as I used to say, I had my own ashtray and coffee cup in the emergency room at Jacoby because I was in there so much, whether it was with a prisoner or me being hurt. I smoke inhalation 3 times.
Jeez.
You know, getting beat up, you know, just, it happens. It happens, and it happens all the time. It's just what people have to understand. We're human. We have feelings. We don't, the last thing anybody ever wants to do is to take a human life. And it's something that you would have to live with for the rest of your life, knowing that you did that.
No doubt, no doubt.
And sometimes guys can't handle it. You have a high rate you've seen lately in the last couple of years. Police suicides have skyrocketed. There's help out there, and I'll tell anybody that's out there that's a police officer, if you have problems, seek help. Don't hold it in. Talk to somebody. Because we don't need to bury another guy or girl because they couldn't handle the stress of the job or something that happened. Seek help.
Guys, this is a message that keeps coming up on this series Behind the Uniforms, and I hope you will all help us to share it. It's going to take you 2 seconds to hit that share button. So please get this tremendous, powerful story out there. Brother, thank you for joining me. Thanks
Kyle,
for the gifts that you brought.
I'm glad to be here, all right? I'm up in Mickey Mouse land, and that's a great thing.
Excellent. Sounds good. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. God bless America.